So, everyone, this is Mrs. Isabella Mothobi, but I'm gonna give her a chance to introduce herself. And I think in a minute, just tell us what industry you're in, what are the businesses that you are involved in. Tell us what makes you so important to be interviewed today.
Let's not go there. But anyway, my name is Isabella Mothobi. I am, firstly, I'm a mom. That's my first business of the day that starts. But I own a production company, and I own a virtual reality company that deals in 4IR and digital marketing and the likes. And I shoot movies for fun. And yeah, I've been in the industry for like 15 years. I've been on movie sets, I've done commercials, I've done little Mzansi magic films. And yeah, so basically, I work behind the scenes. I'm a producer by trade. And yeah, that's who I am.
All right, cool. So that's who you are now, but because we are speaking to high schoolers, I want you to think back to your matric year. What high school were you in again? What
Sorry,
high
what?
what high school were you in?
I went to Parktown Girls, an all-girls school. I matriculated there in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I was in high school, I wanted to be in front of the camera. So I was always in major production. I was in the first team dancing. I did swimming. I was all over the place. But like I always wanted to be the one that's in the front. And then when I was in matric, I was like, you know what? This is not fun. Like all out there, but I also realized the person that actually puts everything together is the person that gets those recognition. Like it's all nice to be on stage and performing, but at the end of the day, there's somebody who sat down and said, okay, this is how it's gonna pan out. So that's when I for school. So I wanted to go to AFDA. AFDA was my first point of call, and then there was TUT at the time. TUT was doing a film and television course, and so I thought, oh, that would be a great idea for me to go and learn just the basics of film production, and because obviously actors and stuff you bring into a film production. So I thought, let me go to one of those institutes. And then I didn't get into TUT or into AFDA. And I ended up going to what do you call it? I went to UJ for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work for me. And then eventually I got into TUT, and then that didn't work out for me. And then I went to City Varsity. That didn't work out for me. And I
Just
got a
say that
job.
last varsity again, because it kind of cut there. So what was the last varsity that didn't work out?
I went to City Varsity. It's a private institute. Now it's like this big institute. There's one in Cape Town and Durban. So City Varsity had a film and television course, which I finished my year, but then I didn't go back because the next year I got a job.
Okay. So let's talk about that your first couple of jobs. Seeing that school didn't really work, how did you get into those spaces?
So obviously in this industry, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And luckily for me, my mom got me my first job. So she was working with somebody, and they had a brother who owned a small production company, and they were looking for an intern. So I was like, I will do the internship. So I did the internship for about 2 years, and I learned from there. So I was a runner. I made coffee when clients came. I mean, I on set I was just all over the place. Like I was making sure that things were being put where they're supposed to be, and that was my first job. And then from there I transgressed to being a casting director within the company. and I would cast for commercials because we did commercials as well. And then I learned from being a runner, because obviously you start from the bottom. I learned from being a runner, being what goes into casting and putting everything together, into production management, and then into producing. So basically what I was supposed to learn at school, I learned in a job. And then from that job, I left and I went to become a casting director for a couple of years. And then I became an agent for a couple of years. And then, but at the same time, I was still producing small pieces of work in between. And then only now, as I stand here, for the past 5 years, I've owned my own production company, and I've been producing. That's my full-on job, producing and project management for content and online and TV and all of that stuff. So those were like my steps. So I got to learn everything from the beginning all the way up until where I am currently right now.
Do you think it would have been difficult to get into the industry if your mom didn't hook you up the first time?
Well, the thing is, right, now me being on the side that I'm on, I love to see people who are passionate. So I like to bring on board people who will send me an email or send me a WhatsApp and say, listen, I want to learn. Give me that opportunity. And I might not even know you. So I think for me, I was lucky enough to get that foot in the door. But I think now, because where we are as socially, we've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got all those platforms where we can actually physically say to somebody, hey, listen, this is who I am. I want to do this. How do I go about it? Because I'm very open to people sending me a text message, and I'm giving them that 5 minutes of my time saying, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it, and so on and so forth. So I'm very forthcoming with information and allowing people onto my sites and helping me in certain places so they can learn and gain that skill. So, you know, if you get in the way you get in, it's great, but also have the confidence and the passion to want to actually say, hey, let me go to Egg Films and ask them if they're doing an internship or if they're trying to do something, so that at least you're learning something along the way. Don't be discouraged that, as I said, it's not what you know, but it's who you know. But sometimes you can make that person know who you are at the same time.
Oh, that's very good. That is actually also why people need to learn how to sell themselves and to not, be unsure of what do they say, because then you miss that 5 minutes with Isa, and then it's over. So that's very cool. Um, Most of us want to be in front of the camera because that's what teenagers do. Um, so what are the opportunities in the back end, as the person who is the producer? What are the skills there? And what would you encourage someone to do if they want to be in the industry, but they're unaware of the other opportunities?
So I mean, there's obviously like your directing. We need a lot of females in editing. We've got editing, we've got directing, we've got creative directors, we've got wardrobe. I mean, just clothes on the people on the match, the characters are out of sync, the makeup needs to work. There's so many opportunities behind the scenes that make up those people, because those people, sometimes when we create a script, we're like, okay, maybe Zduma would be great for this role, but then Zduma comes and then Waflopa as he's doing his audition, and then you're like, no, actually it's not Zduma, let's not choose him, let's choose somebody else. So you're not always guaranteed that you will get the job, but as a crew member, you're guaranteed that you'll be on the project. So either way, you will still doing makeup, even if you're doing with Chris Brown or Asha. It doesn't matter. So there's roles as also DOP. We need a lot of youth doing director of photography, and that's shooting. There's not a camera guy. It's not a cameraman. It's a DOP, a director. It's an art that you learn with lighting, because you work with your lighting team. Then there's the gaffers and the grips who do the lighting, who set up those big screens so that the lighting is gorgeous. That sunlight on your face where you're constantly looking good at the same time. So those kind of like roles are very important at the back. I mean, I just finished a movie which is actually coming out on the 31st of July, guys, on Netflix. It's called Serious Single, and I was production team. And production basically sits in an office. We don't go on set, and we make sure that my cast arrives on time. I have a driver fetching somebody and making sure that lunch is organized. I mean, if you like to cook, you can be a caterer on a set, and you basically make sure that the crew is set for the day and everybody's eating, the food's delicious. So there's roles other than being in front of the camera. And it's fun to be in front of the camera. You work very hard. You wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like we all do, and we treat you like a baby. But at the same time, there's people out there who make sure that your job looks good. So yeah.
Hmm. All right. So looking at, let's say, your production company first, what are your goals for it going forward?
So I started off just doing like small music videos, more like, uh online content stuff. I want to go big. So I'm wanting to transgress from where I am, which is like doing content. I want to teach. I want to also open a big fish or an after for children who can't afford to go and spend 100,000 rand at varsity, but also learn the skills. Because I feel like I learned when I went to those 3 universities where I'm like, this is not working for me. I want to be hands on and dig in. I want to give kids the same opportunity. I like having interns on my set who are still trying to learn, because you're giving them the skill. So as a company, I think education is more important, because people don't have access to getting funds to go to these top film schools, because once you go to after, you're set for life. That's how it is in the industry. Once you go to a certain institute, you're good, and everybody knows everyone. So in our industry right now, all the after kids are all together. They're all getting projects together. They'll pick up the phone and be like, hey, Mang Mang, I want you to be the creative director on this project. But they all work together at school. And it's unfortunate for some of them, but like myself, I don't like mingle, but people know me because I've been in the industry. But at the same time, um, I don't have that connect where someone can pick up the phone and be like, hey buddy, this is what's going on. So my goal is to educate, give you the skill and give you the information going forward, give you like a crash course. At the moment, the NWF sponsored us to do a master class on mobile content creation, and that's just creating content with your phones, creating those blogs, creating that news report with your phone. You don't need to go buy a camera for 50K. You've got a phone, you can download a free app, edit it, and you're good to go. So, giving you that power and that information allows you to create more with the little that you have. So that's what I want to do for the next couple of years.
All right, and then your VR business, maybe just explain what virtual reality is and how you got into that space.
So virtual reality is 360 filming and creating content in the virtual world. So it's like me taking, let's say I go and I create content of underwater experiences that will allow me to take you who's sitting in your classroom, go to the beach and still experience going to the beach without be there. Virtually transport. So we create content in that space. So again, also the same thing in VR. We want to go into education because kids learn from seeing, and I think for also especially underprivileged kids, it looks like and looks like and what just the surroundings are. So you don't or a whole trip for the whole school and some people can't make it, take them there virtually and it'll cost you next to nothing to do and still allow them to understand and experience a piece of it. So VR is that it's a virtual experience. So I got into VR literally when I finished doing my agent working and stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting my company, but I also want to look into something else, create content different way. And that's how I got into VR. And I really literally I self-taught VR myself. I self-taught how to shoot. I self-taught the cameras. I self-taught how to edit. I basically, with my business partner, we sat down and we're like, this is what we're going to teach ourselves. And last years, I mean, like currently right now, I'm on a project with a client who is overseas, and I'm creating them VR content to show something that's Africa to their clients virtually, so they can experience the what's going on. So, yeah.
All right,
Sorry.
cool. So, let's say there are kids who want to be in front of the screen. They feel they might have the talent, but they're also able to study other things. What is your advice to them? Should they pursue it, or should they go study other things and just attend casting calls and take a chance? What's your advice?
Look, I think as I said, with where we are as people with Facebook and all of that, if you want to be a part of the industry, sell yourself. Create a portfolio, create an Instagram page where you can pay your 350 and you join an agency, but at the same time, you out there also looking for work. Because yeah, go to a casting call with 1,000 people and they're only choosing two. I mean, for me is a waste of time. Generally, if I will find your profile and I'll be like, this is what I want. This is the person I want to use, so on and so forth. So, go study what you want. If you want to go study, go study. It's always good to have the knowledge, but also your skill. The skill is the most important, I think. If you can do something without having to go through a textbook, then I honestly school is great, guys. Stay in school, but sometimes also just use your skill.
Okay. Anyone with questions? Mm-hmm. Isa, can I share your email address with people?
Yes, you may.
I sense a doubt, so you must send
Um,
me which one I must send.
huh?
You must give me the address that I must send because I sense some doubt there.
No, I'll give you the email address, or you can go into my Facebook page, which is Signature Media and Productions. I don't post a lot because I forget, but all of those
Maybe
things are
okay,
there,
spell
and
that signature part. Because remember, your
it's
signature is wrongly
Signature. So
spelled.
it's so the actual company is SIGNUHCHER, but on my Facebook I haven't changed it, so it's Signature as in like the Signature Media
Mhm.
and Productions.
Okay. Anyone else with questions? Yes. It's a move. Mm. Yeah. And unless you want to act as if you are paying. So you know what's the question? We producer a move ahead. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I'll answer already, yes. Mhm. Yeah. Okay, done. Mm-hmm. So well, I mean, you're asking for other matriculants. We understand future ones. Isa, she's asking,
Mm.
would you ever be keen to take matric learners as interns during their school holidays if you had a project?
Sorry,
Would you consider taking
would
matric
I be?
students? Would you take matric students as interns during their school holidays?
Um, but good. Um, Yeah, I would.
Yeah, ask a question. Someone's asking if you are hiring. I don't know what that means, but that's the question. Are you
I'm
looking for
not.
actors? He's asking if you're looking for actors. Is there a casting he can go to?
At the
Hmm.
unfortunately, no.
All right, that's fine. I think your connection is leaving us, but thanks. And when you send me your email address, I'll also send it to the people.
Wait, and I have two kids who are trying to get me right now. So I think. Can you
Yes,
hear
go.
me?
Yeah, go be your other job.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm going to. All right. Thank you so very much, Sishe, and thank you so much to your class. Thank you for having me.
All
And I
right,
hope
cheers. Yasin.
to hear from some of you guys soon.
Yes, definitely.
All right, cool.